We're just about to start. Thank you for coming. My name is Nicola Williams, and I am an SBN member. I'm on the board. I am president of the Williams Agency, and we're a marketing-driven firm that focuses on things that matter, and we plan events that matter. I am a long-term collaborator with SBN. For the last 10 years, I've been on the board, and for the last 11 years, I've been a collaborator. And I'm so thrilled to see all of you here tonight with us celebrating. It is a time to celebrate. You know, my mantra for this year is the sun will shine bright in 2021. I truly believe that. And we have so much to be grateful for. We have so much to celebrate. And we appreciate our village that we have with all of you here today. You know, this is the 5th year that SBN is offering this awards, the 2020 Business of the Year Award. And we're thrilled with the diversity, the variety of types of businesses all across the state of Massachusetts. And I'm so thrilled to have such an amazing group of people with us tonight, including yourself, of course. And this event is actually the only event in the state that does this type of award for sustainable business practices. And, you know, we're here to celebrate our entrepreneurs, and it's a highly prized and coveted award. And, you know, we're doing it virtually because the show must go on. And this is a prelude, as you know, to Black History Month, which is just around the corner. We're going to be celebrating our awardees tonight. We'll have some poetry, some great music, and all of you. And of course, we're going to have a special guest. Our MC for tonight is Robin Young. Robin Young is a friend of SBN. As many of you know, she's host of Here and Now. Robin Young is an award-winning host of Here and Now. She brings more than 25 years of broadcast experience to her role. And under her leadership at Here and Now, she's established itself as public radio's indispensable midday news magazine, hard-hitting, up to the moment, always culturally relevant, and we love that. A Peabody Award-winning documentary filmmaker, Robin has been a correspondent for ABC, NBC, CBS, and the Discovery Channel. And she's a former guest host of The Today Show on NBC and one of the first hosts of Boston's groundbreaking television show, Evening Magazine. Robin has received 5 Emmy Awards for her television work, as well as 2 Cable Ace Awards, Religious Public Relations Council Wilbur Award, National Conference of Christians and Jews Gold Award, many numerous awards. And some of you don't know that Robin has also been an independent documentary filmmaker. She produced and directed the opening film for Marian Wright Ellman's White House Conference on Children, and followed the rise of the then unknown filmmaker John Singleton in the film Straight from the Hood. So Robin, our neighbor, my neighbor, a friend, a special treasure to SBN and our village. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being our host here today.
Wild applause. Robin? Wild applause. Oh, wait, no, it's Zoom, Kayla. Nicola, thank you so much. This is fun for me because it's been so great to watch the extraordinary growth of SBN, to see the organizational wizardry of Nicola, not to mention her sweet potato pie, the faith behind the Boston Food Festival. I will always remember the very first, my guy, Lori Hamill, and I think something like 4 volunteers set off in the pouring rain in the dark on a Sunday morning. And I thought, oh, these poor people, this is just going to be terrible. And the clouds parted and the sun came out and 50,000 people came to the first Boston Food Festival. And we will be back. We will have our Boston Food Festival. We will have our galas where we can hug each other. But right now, this is just terrific to even just see each other and be in connection. And SBN is all about connection. And when I think of the first food festival, it was almost biblical, the way suddenly, they were well, loaves of bread were being fed, to 50,000 people. It grew into that beloved city festival. And I think we're going to be inspired tonight by people who you're going to meet virtually, who are turning their own loaves of bread and fish into meals or just sustenance for all of us. They're amazing, and they're local and sustainable and fair. And so over the course of the evening, we're going to meet all of this year's honorees in different batches. I'll have a chance to chat with them. And we're also going to gather in smaller rooms, breakout rooms on 3 occasions, where you can just weigh in briefly on what you may be feeling and how you are reacting to the matter at hand. Just very briefly, we ask so that everybody can get a chance to speak. We've got a lot of people here. Thank you for that. And Nicola mentioned poetry, and haven't we all, it's Amanda Gorman's world and we just live in it. We've all suddenly found ourselves drawn to poetry because of the incredible 22-year-old poet laureate at the inaugural. And so with that in mind, we thought, well, what can we find? And we were looking through a lot of different things. But then this morning, suddenly on NPR, and I know it feels like the fix is in, but Kwame Alexander, the poet in residence at NPR, introduced the latest NPR crowdsourced poem. This is where they ask people from across the country to answer a question. And the question was, what is your dream? So we're going to start the evening with the first few stanzas, and we'll end it with the last few. But here are some of the answers from across the country, shaped into poetry by poet Kwame Alexander to the question, what is your dream? This is our dream. I dream a world that sounds like a gentle good morning, like sleep tight at the end of the day, like Ella scatting a world filled with a universal song, a hallelujah of joyous rejoicing in this moment's gift of life. I dream a world in color where nature's artist takes the lead, clear blue oceans and vibrant reefs, and all creatures thrive with what they need, where peace floats from every direction, where it's not too late to change the people who hate, where race and color are not what the scales weigh, where the root of all evil is pulled up and the rain pours down until the ground swells with fertile soil, where potential is the currency of the day, and you can be able to see what's next without being scared. I dream of the world, the one that lifts the silent souls from shackles, where vision cannot be smothered beneath my eyes, beyond my reach, where what lies waiting aches to teach. That's what Americans said in answer to the question, what is your dream? And now we're going to send you just briefly into breakout rooms with another question, a question we'd like you to think about, and maybe we answer over the course of the night. Why are you here? Not existentially on Earth, but meaning, why are you here tonight? You made this commitment to be here. Why? Now, remember, in these breakout rooms, we're going to just have a minute response from everybody in the room, just so that we can get back quickly to meet our extraordinary honorees. But think about it, as you are whisked away, why are you here?
Thank you for that, Robin. You will be automatically zapped into your rooms. If you get lost in a virtual hallway, it happens to us all. Just quit Zoom and come back to that same link. You'll have about 5 minutes in your breakout rooms, and we'll bring you back. You'll get a 30-second warning as well. Enjoy your conversations.
Welcome back. We hope that was invigorating. and that no one answered the question, why are you here, with I have no idea, I'm in the wrong gala, which has happened. And we hope that you are settling back. We want you to know, while we're, having these breakaways, this is not school. This is a party, a celebration. So I am starting with smart water, but in a festive glass. And we want everyone to feel free, have a libation. You're in your PJs probably, at least waist down, and just relax and enjoy yourself as you meet some of our terrific guests here. Before we get to the 2020 SBN honorees, a reminder of the caliber with a past winner, Sheldon Lloyd, who is CEO, and along with his brother Glenn, a co-owner of City Fresh Foods. They provide wonderful, nutritious meals to seniors and kids. And Sheldon also brings a corporate background that he really has worked into his present, kind of community work. He worked in sales for 7 years at Eastman Kodak. At the same time, when he was in New York, he would organize special events for young minority business professionals. Before that, he worked in banking for State Street and Bank of New England. And then he combined the financial and sales savvy and this social awareness that he had. And it all became the stew that is now City Fresh, a successful, very successful minority-run business, the only for-profit, minority-owned food service company in the Boston area, the first to provide ethnic-style meals for seniors and fresh salads for kids in the Boston schools. And recently, they also gave their employees a chance to be stockholders, to own a piece of the company. And in 2018, Sheldon and Glenn Lloyd were the Sustainable Business of the Year recipients. So Sheldon, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Forget about SBN. I'm being interviewed by Robin Young. This is like, I don't know, I don't even know what to do. I'm nervous.
Oh, you go on. You go on. I will not be quizzing you on the state capitals. But tell me, I have to know this incredible business that you guys build. And by the way, your brother Glenn now heads the Foundation for Business Equity, which was launched by Eastern Bank. Equity, sustainability, local, all of this in this stew I want to talk about. But briefly, how are you doing in the pandemic?
Well, it's been a long road. We went from, fear to preparation, to, changing our operation around and, educating everybody how to, move and walk and talk.
Yeah.
And be safe. So
I know that with the schools closed, I was reading in a terrific Boston Globe article on you guys, I think in January of this year. Everybody should Google it. But you're now delivering meals on behalf of nonprofits.
yes, so we partnered with, right out of the gate, the YMCA, stepped up and was like, okay, sites, you can get foods out to the kids who are used to getting a school meal. So they stepped up right away, like 60 sites all over the city. So it was a little crazy. And then, we do the meals to seniors at home. So that grew. Now all of a sudden, seniors couldn't go. So we were doing door-to-door delivery. I had to get out there a couple of times, early in the year. And it's been years since I've done that. But, you were, and at the beginning it was scary. You were changing gloves before deliveries, and you had to go into, these tall buildings and you're giving a meal to somebody like, wow, this person's depending on me, and, and am I safe? And it was a senior, so extremely humbling and appreciative of my team, for.
Well, and this underscores, how essential these workers are, food workers, delivery people. I get a little tired, and we do this, I think we do this to a fault sometimes on NPR, of, creative segments about how to work at home. You're lucky if you're working. You're lucky if you're working at home, during a pandemic. And so talk about your obvious recognition of how essential and important these workers are when you decided to give them the chance to be stockholders in the company.
Well, I mean, it always had been a goal, and it's weird kind of that it all kind of, it happened. We started the process to take out our other shareholders, so City Fresh, I guess, the history is that, and I think it's part of some of the questions I think you're going to ask earlier, but we've always had, in order to get our first building, we had to take on partners. And that's some of the inequity, we went to the bank, could not get a loan. So we had to take on venture. It was socially conscious venture money. And so we had to borrow money, but with that came a board and partners, which then transferred about 3 times. We had partners that were invested in the company with different goals. Our last partners were impact investors. But we were able to finally, City Fresh was able to buy the shares back, and then sell them to and offer them to employees at a great, at a very fair rate.
What
So
does that do? What does that do for them?
well, I kind of tell them it's similar to buying a house or investing in a house, right? Because you're going to get an appreciation value when you exit the company, or if we flip it to the next stage, which could be an ESOP. And also you'll get dividends, based on the performance of the company. And you're going to have some say, you're going to have some governance, you'll get, there'll be a board seat or 2. And then they'll be able to elect, a board, somebody to sit on that board and govern. So that's, so it's real. It's real.
Yeah, and maybe a little less income right now because you're buying into this, but
Right.
payoff at the end and an ownership and you're a stakeholder,
Right.
in it.
Exactly.
And you did mention the loans, and I did want to ask you. It's been you're very successful. You get written up everywhere, making your way through the pandemic. But it's been hard, and we've got just about everybody here is hanging on everyone's word tonight to see how'd you do it. So I was going to ask you about the challenges of being a minority owner. We know about the pathetic rate of loans that are given to minority starting businesses, people of color starting businesses. What was the biggest challenge?
Well, there's so many of them. It's been 26 years. Well, managing a business itself is extremely, and people, so I mean, I think those are some of the biggest, challenges. And you kind of just keep plugging in your belief in what you're doing, and, always improving on your quality and what you're doing, and things happen. And so, folks shouldn't, for those who are starting out, you don't give up, and you keep following what your belief is. And then I think, money is clearly a challenge. Knowledge is clearly a challenge because you're doing things for the first time. So, who are your advisors, and who is around you? From the first investment, we had to have a board, which was also very interesting for us as startups. All of a sudden you have a board who's telling you they're your bosses, so that was interesting. And I think if you move that into the current time, I think one of my biggest challenges is staying in the city of Boston, and the big gentrification that's happening for my staff, and as well as for light manufacturers like myself. Real estate has gone off the charts, and we don't own our building. So that's become now one of the biggest challenges. We owned our second building because we're in our third location, in which we leased then to buy for that operator who is a person of color in a community business. And now he owns that building, but we don't own ours. And so you realize that part of equity, right? And so, we're working through that, right now as we speak. It's one of my biggest battle points.
Given that, as I said, in 2018, you guys won the Sustainable Business of the Year award. How important is that kind of acknowledgement and this kind of a community that SBN offers?
Well, I mean, this is the community that we're aligned with. So it's, that is the honor. That's the, to be accepted by your peers who have been, have the similar struggle and the belief. That's the great honor, and so, we recognize it, and appreciate, you guys recognizing us for really, hopefully walking the talk and talking the talk.
Well, I think everybody at SBN would say they are as honored, when you join, you are adding to that fabric, and you have. And Sheldon, just give our best to Glenn, your brother, and continued success. And you know, thank you so much for you know, for my part, thank you so much for what you've done for the city's kids and the elderly. Thanks for that.
Thank you. And, you know, all heroes here. And so everybody needs to, you know, just keep pushing, because we need to be telling the stories, you know, Robin, you know, as you do, and getting out there, because that's what kept us going in 2020, you know, et cetera. Right. I mean, and everybody should appreciate the voice that they have, and to use it.
Well, Sheldon, thank you so much.
All right.
And now we're going to be speaking to some of this year's honorees. And you know, listening to Sheldon and talking about some of the struggles, when you're on the periphery of this organization and you hear, you know, half a phone conversation, or you hear, you know, a support group that's gathered in the living room, you realize that SBN is also a therapy group, a very large extended therapy group of people, you know, struggling, especially in the past year, to keep their businesses going and do it in the way they want to do it, you know, sustainably and fair and local. And so that's why it means so much that these people are being honored tonight, because they have struggled through that. So let's start with our first batch. I'm going to introduce each of them, and we'll see them on the screen, and then we'll get to ask them a few questions. Let's bring in Larry O'Toole, founder and CEO of the Green and Sustainable Leader Gentle Giant Moving Company, winner of the medium-sized business, Eastern Massachusetts. Woohoo! I'll be the audience for this one. Gentle Giant Moving, one of the first Massachusetts companies to complete the Sustainable Business Leader Program. This is SBN's Green Business Certification Program. They've always looked for ways to reduce their carbon footprint, including the Bike Moves program. That's right, they will move you by bike, no trucks. And their charitable giving is off the charts. Many nonprofits thank them for that. So Larry O'Toole, congratulations to you. We're going to be back to you in a minute. Emma Febo is winner of the Budding Small Business of Western Massachusetts Award for Springfield's MexiRico restaurant. Yay, Emma. She caters to the needs and tastes of Springfield's significant immigrant population and anyone else who's hungry for cultural diversity. With her dedicated family, she makes a conscious effort to integrate produce that's locally grown with sustainability and environmental awareness. She offers customers the freshest ingredients from nearby farms. But MexiRico is more than a restaurant. Free hot meals have been made available to the homeless. Emma, works on making her cold meals accessible through SNAP benefits. And she connects people with local resources, legal assistance, education programs, faith organizations. Emma, you do it all. Congratulations to you as well. We're going to see Emma there. And now we also want to bring in Moreira, Executive Director of World Farmers Flats Mentor Farm. This is a winner of the Farm of Central Massachusetts. It's on 77 acres in Lancaster, Massachusetts. It's run by World Farmers. This is a nonprofit that gives space, infrastructure, mentoring, hands-on assistance to beginning immigrant or refugee small farmers. They learn sustainable methods. They get hands-on training on soil fertility, weed management. It's for farmers who want to make a new life for themselves while preserving their cultural identity. And so Maria, congratulations and welcome to you as well. And I want to start with Maria, are you there? Oh, Maria Moreira?
Yes, I am.
There you are. Congratulations. Hi. And what did you see? I guess, what do you now see in your role as the need for this training?
For the training of farmers?
Yeah.
I think our food system can't survive. We all eat, obviously, and we need the food producers who are the farmers. Our program has over 300 immigrant and refugee farmers that are part of our program, and they all grow food. Most of them grow food for themselves and their families, but we also have our program. The reason why it exists is so it can provide the opportunity for these farmers who come from agrarian backgrounds to become farmers here in the United States. So they are growing for their for their communities, and they grow crops that are not familiar to our culture here, but it is familiar to the cultures from where they come. So they are providing their community, their culture with fresh local produce that is culturally appropriate.
Well, and
So-
I can hear restaurant owners in the audience, maybe they're in, Boston, thinking, whoa, I mean, this would be something I'd love to be a part of. Do they also sell commercially, or is it just?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we also sell the farmers, some of them go to farmers markets, although COVID changed our marketing strategy for 2020 in a very, very marketable way. We do have a marketing process that we sell to wholesalers, restaurants. We sell to schools. We have a CSA program. Anything that supports our farmers to get their crops out there. We are responsible for I feel that we are responsible to making sure that the farmers stay viable, and they need to sell the crops that they grow, and they grow wonderful crops.
Well, Emma, again, of MexiRico in Springfield, I'm going to bring you in. First of all, I'm wondering, maybe this is where you get some of the fruits of the Farmers Flats labor maybe ends up on your table at MexiRico, but also in the community that you work with there and serve there through your restaurant. What is the sense of sustainability, the importance of locally produced food?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it? I'm still at the restaurant. We're still working.
Oh, that's so
Real busy here. So if you hear the background,
It's
don't
never
worry.
over for a restaurant owner. So I was asking, do you get a sense from your clientele, maybe the immigrant community,
Yes.
coming in, certainly behind the, doing the work in the kitchen, is sustainability and something that's locally produced, is that important to
It
them?
is important. The area where we are located, it's called a food desert. So it's a lack of healthy access for people, mostly for minorities, immigrants, and elders. So we do have a lot of residents around that they're very um, they don't know where to go, what to do. So when they come over here, they're very pleased and thankful because we are here and we help them. And
I see that you're open, but I mean, I'm sure COVID is just.
yes, it has been a mix of everything, I can say. At the beginning, we all were stressed out and scared. We actually had to close for 2.5 months. We were closed. But then after 2 months, we realized that the community were asking, we're sending emails and messages that where we are. So we came back, and we with the help of the tablets of online orderings and all that stuff. Right now, we don't have any settings. It's just everything takeout and delivery. The deliveries are working very, very well. So we're being managing very well, and the people, the community, it's responding very well.
Okay, when we're in Springfield, just name one dish we have to try at MexiRico.
Right now, the boom, it's called birria meat. It's beef marinated in sweet chile sauce, and it's served in tacos, quesadillas, nachos, everything. And we serve that with a broth, and you dip the tacos on the broth. That's a boom right now.
Okay, people are taking notes. So
Yeah.
thank you, Maria. And I'm gonna bring in Larry O'Toole. Again, such a great company, and so charitable to nonprofits in town. But you could have, Larry, just been a very well-respected charitable company, a well-run company, which you are. Why was it important for you to be sustainable?
Well, I think it's something that should be important to everybody. And when you try to be a sustainable business and you get kudos for that, you feel like you're being praised for not robbing a bank. I mean, isn't this what we're supposed to be doing? And everyone doing their little bit. And of course, there's always more. You always want to do more. And in our business, you know, it's labor intensive. So you really need to have a staff that's equally committed. So it's really part of our training so that everybody participates in making sure things get recycled, and also educating our customers, because a lot of our customers have to be dragged kicking and screaming sometimes to get them to recycle materials that they're, you know, would otherwise maybe throw away.
Yeah. Oh, woe on the person who doesn't know that when they hire Gentle Giant Moving Company, it's serious about it. Everybody did, you know, customers too. But what's the biggest challenge? What was the biggest challenge actually for you in getting to where you are?
So you're not talking about COVID, you're talking about
In general, as a business owner.
well, it's a tough business, but we started out with the idea that we're only going to hire great people. We're going to hire fun people, people that you enjoy being with. And that's what happened. You know, the phones lit up. It's a referral business. So what might have been a big challenge really wasn't in the beginning. Of course, once a business gets bigger, there's all kinds of huge challenges. But getting started was just such a fun and wonderful experience, because we make it our business, you know, to make the move enjoyable for our customers and to engage with them and to involve them in humorous situations if they occur. And of course, I could tell a million stories about that. But it gets people talking, and they refer you, and word of mouth really got it going. We were lucky because we got in before the internet. Back in the day when people used to talk to each other, nowadays you have to rely on review sites, which most of them are pretty disreputably run. But it's better than nothing, I suppose. But I miss the days when people would actually talk to each other about stuff.
Well, I join you on that. But it sounds like what you're saying is, it sounds like the most important thing that you provide, it's not speed. It's not, you know, we'll get you there faster, or we'll do it cheaper. It sounds like the company, having a company ethos has been probably the best decision you made.
Yeah. I mean, the culture is the most important thing. But when you hire enthusiastic people, they're going to be fast. They're going to get the job done faster than anybody else, because they're going to take it by the scruff of the neck and get it done. So we are, you know, we run on the job when it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
But that's just part of the fun, you know. Everybody's the energy rubs off on everyone else.
Yeah.
And when you bring somebody into that environment, they suddenly find that they're really loving it. And people who may have worked in an environment where people were kind of didn't care that much and would slow down here and there, and then they come into an environment where everybody's, you know, firing on all cylinders, and people go, wow, I love this. And you feel great about yourself at the end of the day. You know, you've done a great job. You've something to be proud of. You've solved a lot of problems, and you've made a customer happy and really contributed.
Yeah.
So everything sort of comes together when you have a good culture.
Well, I want to thank you all so much. That's Larry O'Toole, founder and CEO of Gentle Giant Moving Company, Emma Febo of MexiRico Restaurant, and Maria Moreira, executive director of the World Farmers Flats Mentor Farm. This year's honorees, the first of an excellent batch that we're going to meet. Thank you, guys. And now I'm going to say to everybody who is, you know, joining us, we're going to go into another breakout session now. And here's a question as we go. We just heard from these terrific business owners. what is the most important thing you may have learned as a business person that you want to share with someone else? Something you can do in 1 minute. Remember, just 1 minute. So grab the libation, gather your thought, and we'll see you back here.
You will get a 30-second warning. Remember, if you get lost in a hallway, quit Zoom and come right back and we'll bring you in.
Hello, can I say hello to anybody?
Give me 1 minute here. Judy, are you able to hear us?
It says she's in room 2.
That's
So
what
I'm
I was
wondering-
thinking. She's on 2 devices, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move that. There we go. She logged out.
Welcome back to SBN's 5th annual awards ceremony. I'm hearing that the breakout rooms are on fire, and we want to let you know a couple things. First of all, you're going to have an opportunity at the end of the evening to join one again. So if we're tearing you away from someone who's just given you the answer to the question you've always wanted to ask about a business, you will have another chance. But also, we're hearing that in your little Brady Bunch windows, a lot of people are applauding when we introduce a business. A lot of moms out there, maybe. But we thought, you know what, why not? So we ask you, as we continue to meet some of this year's honorees, we're going to meet 3 more right now. If you feel like applauding, unmute yourself and applaud, but then mute yourself again, please, because there, thank you. Nobody wants to hear you, like brush your teeth as the evening goes on. So let's do that. Let's meet 3 more recipients, people we can honor and learn from. We start with Michael Cantor, founder and owner with Elizabeth Stagel of the family-run Cambridge Naturals in Cambridge and Brighton, Massachusetts, winner of the Seasoned Small Business Eastern Massachusetts Award, and seasoned, I'll say. If you go into either of the Cambridge Naturals, look for the photo behind the cash register, or it's on the website, I think, too, of this glorious couple. They were babies when they founded this company in 1974. They looked 5. And together they believed that they could help people improve their lives by offering the best choices in holistic products and healthy lifestyle supplies. It's just grown. You also now get the best hats. Oh, no, I don't have my hat. But anyway, the best hats, mittens, anything, jewelry, makeup. It's just terrific. Products that they try to source locally, organically, and ethically, and a portion of their profits are donated annually to social justice and environmental organizations. They are superstars. So Michael, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Applause. We also have David Dumares, the owner of Farmer Dave's. This is the best farm of Eastern Massachusetts. Wild applause. David's long been a steward of the land from his time in the Peace Corps, where he served as a crop extensionist in Ecuador, to purchasing his own 80-acre farm in Draycott, Mass. He grows apples, blueberries, raspberries, herbs, corns. Over 900 families are in the CYA, and a farm stand and a farmer's market. It's just thriving. It's farmed, primarily led by women who bring knowledge of different farming methods from their home countries. There are sustainable practices whenever possible, solar and geothermal energy. green manure, sustainable compost reusable boxes since 2008. And they've saved over 20,000 cardboard boxes per year since then. That's just what they're doing with boxes. Again, Data Dumaresque, congratulations to you. I'll speak to you in a moment. And we want to bring in Misha Thomas, a general manager, accepting the Resilient Sustainable Business Award for the resilient, wonderful business, Haley House Bakery Cafe. People in Boston, we know Haley House, the beloved Boston organization, which started in 1966 as a soup kitchen. 60 years later, people experiencing homelessness or food insecurity are still provided with breakfast and lunch on most days. They've, of course, been infected by the pandemic. And Haley House also offers, affordable housing support. But the cafe, the social enterprise bakery and cafe in Nubian Square, our awardee, it's extraordinary. Their mission is to use food with the purpose and the power of community to empower people. So congratulations, Misha, to you as well. I think we have 4 in this category. I think we're bringing in Kyisha Davenport, co-owner of Tanám, best budding small business there in Eastern Massachusetts. So welcome to you, Kyisha, as well. This Filipinx-American worker-owned restaurant offers delicious Filipino food, cocktails, and stories. It's a restaurant that's offering stories as well, stories that don't get told, shared by people who live those stories, with a goal to highlight racial equity, labor, and environmental justice. They are a QPOC, queer, person of color, majority-owned worker cooperative, a lot going on in that sentence. And in this pandemic, they have pivoted to sending those cultural traditions and foods and stories out into the home. Kyisha, welcome and congratulations to you as well. And I think, Kyisha, I want to start with you. I think I'm in the right place here. What do you mean when you say you're going to send food and stories out into the community?
Hi, all. I hope you can hear me. We've been fighting with Wi-Fi because we're in Mercury retrograde now. My apologies.
We still don't buy anything, people. Don't buy furniture or something like that.
Don't buy anything.
You sound good. Sound good.
Yeah, you do.
Sending stories out into the world. So I am one of 3 folks who cooperatively own Tanám. And if you have not had a chance to have dinner with us, our core element is around food storytelling in Filipinx and Black American cuisine. I would say those 2, yes, indeed. Those 2 cuisines are often misrepresented in the larger scope of the hospitality industry and food culture. I don't know if y'all follow food at all, but a few years back, I forget the person's name because it probably doesn't deserve mentioning, but noted Filipinx food as the worst cuisine. And our work at Tanám is about just really destroying those stereotypes of global Southern cuisine, what kind of food is valued, what ingredients are valued, and who is allowed to make that food, share that food, and share those histories. So we just use our space and our skills to offer people a truer look at what our family's history is. And perhaps you get to share that with somebody else out there too.
Well, tell me, how would a story, is it literal where somebody serving, pre and post pandemic would share a story, or is it just the story that the food tells?
It's both. So prior to the pandemic, our last dinner before the Ides of March, because we closed on March 15th, was called From Moonshine to Massachusetts. It was the story of Chef Seisha's family's migration in the 60s from Alabama to Boston, and how they grew as bootleggers in their family that was able to fund, which is essentially like their escape from the South. And so in 5 courses, we walked people through what the trip was like for Seisha's grandmother, who's about 90 years old now, what the trip was like for her with very small children, what they ate on the train ride, where they ended up landing in Boston, how they brought their family along. And we just walk guests through different courses. The last course being like a Sunday dinner style meal where we had folks sharing large platters, nobody's sharing anything anymore, but sharing large platters of what Sunday dinner would be like, listening to Mahalia Jackson, the traditions we have where you turn to your neighbor. And so inviting people into those traditions, they themselves, whether they've experienced it or not, become part of the story and get to share a little bit of their family history and where their families came from and what Sunday dinner was like for them, for example.
Please tell me you're doing takeout now. Can you or no?
We are doing takeout. Our current offering is probably our most Googleable dinner. It's called Kamayan, which means to eat with your hands. We have 20-something elements, different dishes laid out on banana leaves that guests used to eat with their hands in our space. But now we cheekily serve them in to-go pizza boxes for folks. So you can take the meal home, and it requires very little assembly. You can plate it however you like. We